there are a lot of traits that we have. Some of them are good, some of them are neutral, some of them are bad. Some we're born with, some develop during, say, puberty, for example. Some happen as a result of an illness, and some happen because of exposure to toxic chemicals like lead or uranium. So the what I want to talk about today are two specific, very dangerous traits that are drilled into the heads of lots of young people, and a lot of them, at the age that they're being indoctrinated, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the reasoning abilities necessary to ask, is this actually a good choice? And so they get raised up with these traits, and the people who are unethical, who want money and power and maybe lots of women or lots of men or whatever it is, they are driven sometimes to very dangerous and abusive extremes to get what they want. And as a consequence, they look at, well, what are the weaknesses that I can exploit in lots of people? Now, in the case of that I want to talk about, it's blindness. But I don't mean blindness of the eyes. I mean blindness in your brain. The inability to separate fact from fiction, from knowing when you can trust somebody and not knowing when you can trust somebody. Think about all those times that children were molested by Catholic priests. And to be fair, it isn't just Catholicism that has that problem. Okay? But, you know, maybe if children had not been taught to just patently trust people who are authority figures, that wouldn't have happened. Maybe if parents hadn't been taught to trust those people without asking questions, that would not have happened. But often within religious circles, what is taught is called blind faith. You have to have faith just because there's no proof aside from a book. And maybe we don't know if these things are really true or not, but we tend to believe they're true if there's evidence, like miracles. But every religion has miracles, basically. And some of them are current day miracles. But people are taught you just have to have faith. Faith. You have to have blind faith. Whether it seems screwed or not, whether it doesn't make any sense to you, that's because God is so much infinitely smarter than you are. God has a plan, whatnot. That puts you in a position of vulnerability, of naivety that can be exploited by people who are unethical and want wealth, power, sex with lots of women or children, whatever it is. Um, so, blind faith is one of the most dangerous traits for people to have. The other one is blind loyalty. So, there's a point where when you are backing somebody, and when you back them, maybe you start to hear rumors, and you may think, that's nothing. And you maintain your loyalty in that person because you can't imagine that person doing those things. And if you actually take the time to ask that person if they've done those things, that person may say, of course not. Or if you press them, they may gaslight you. They may try to manipulate you into feeling bad for even asking them that question. Now, if you're in a situation where you ask and the person guilt trips you or gaslights you, that is a clear indication that they are most likely guilty in some way. So, but because you've been taught to be blindly loyal, whether this is a political figure, a military figure, your doctor, your the scientist down the street, the judge, the police officer, anybody, your parents even, doesn't mean that is an intelligent, wise, or sensible thing to do. And in fact, it's not. Like, I was just listening to a podcast by somebody, and she was talking about how she had a father who was in very nice to her, lots of love, but he was an addict. And between her negative experiences as a result of that and the things her mother, after she split up from him, said about him, she developed a very negative attitude to the point where she allowed, and I don't really think she had much of a choice, but she she expressed it as she allowed her birth certificate as a minor to be changed so that instead of her father being listed as her birth parent, it was her stepfather, which to me is kind of screwy. You should never be allowed to change a birth certificate because to me, changing the name from the father to the adoptive father or stepfather is it should be illegal because that person is not the actual person. But then she had her grandfather. She has lots of very warm memories of her grandfather, and she grew up believing he was a wonderful man. Then, over time, she discovered a very dark side to this man. That he was a sheriff and that he abused his power. He was extremely racist and he abused his power in that respect. And he did bad things. And so she's got a lot of anger toward him. He's dead, and her father is dead now too. But because she had been taught father addict bad, grandfather police good, it taught her to blindly be loyal and blindly be faithful. And so again, blind loyalty, just like blind faith, can and will be exploited by people who are unethical. It can be the president of the United States. It can be a judge. It can be your neighbor. It can be the grocer. It can be a salesperson. It doesn't matter. These people don't care about you. They care about what they want. And they will do what they need to do or feel they need to do um, to get it. Now, I don't like South Park, but if you've ever watched South Park and you pay attention to Cartman, he's a narcissist. And that's one category of people who will do unethical things to get what they want. He was very abusive toward his mom and very manipulative as well. And maybe there are reasons that are not expressed in the TV show, but that's an ongoing theme with Cartman. So please, I understand that you've been taught certain things, but when it comes to being blindly loyal and blindly faithful, you are putting yourself at great risk to the point of committing crimes, to the point of committing heinous crimes. So please learn and adjust your behavior with the expectation that some people will try to take advantage of you based on your loyalty, based on your faithfulness. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.